blast off.
Well, it's good to be back, mate. Well, like I said, it's been 2 years, man. Here we are.
Not much has changed, to be honest. What have you been doing?
Oh, mate, I produced my first audiobook, so that was adventurous. That was something else, man. That was a waste of fucking money, is what it was. But
Really?
hey, oh, mate, it cost like $3,000. I made like fucking 200 quid. And without saying names, right? Because I'm trying to do this whole New Year's resolution thing where like I don't talk shit about people, and I'm doing pretty well. Other than my ex-girlfriend, I'm doing pretty well.
Yeah, but that's allowed, I think. Ex-girlfriends, they're still on the table when it comes to slander.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And I don't like actively, outwardly or overtly disparage her. Like, I'll tell her how I feel. I'll tell them how I feel, and it's people that care about me. But other than that, like I don't. I just try not to talk shit. So talking shit about someone without directly naming them, right? There's certain podcasts out there, and you're like, you know what? I think we're okay. I think we're gonna be okay. Because there's some
am I allowed to name names? Or
you can fucking do what you want, mate. It's your podcast.
Let me try and remember his name first. Hold on. Oh, fucking. I'll do the shit talking. You just tell the story.
Yeah. All right. It reminds you of like Kill Tony. It reminds you of Kill Tony when like Tony gets I can't remember who it was. It was a black guy to get him to say the N word. So yeah, all right. So I went on this podcast in I want to say March of 2023. So nearly 2 years ago now. And it was.
Is this like a actual like?
I was a guest.
Yeah, no, but was it like pure setup to be like about the audiobook? Yeah.
It was all in prep for the audiobook. And it was all my kit, so you know my mics and all that, and there was their phones and stuff like that. And I was like, so it was great because it was the first time ever
for recording.
Pardon?
Their phones for recording.
Yeah, like pictures and that, and it was my audio and that. But
pictures? Or he's doing a gay porno shoot before or something.
I was talking about ballsack hitting an ass. So I went on the podcast and and it was great because I'm like, I have no responsibilities here. I don't need to worry about nothing. So
you don't have to look down at the Zoom and be like, fuck, the audio's not connected.
So and it was just one of those where like it was just flat. There'd been no prior research done. I'm talking. It's a lot of passive listening. So you're talking to them and then there's nothing coming back.
But yeah. Next story, Daniel. Next one.
And even me saying that, it's not that I feel bad. I'm just trying to be a better person.
Encouraging. Let's try and encourage the young man. Stop selling shitty fucking products.
Oh no, this is bad energy to start a podcast. This is bad energy, man. We'll skip over this. This is shit between us, man.
Yeah, let's just restart from here. Right. What's up, Dan?
And go. So I'm fucking my wife in the end. Nah, so yeah, basically, so what I've been up to, man, like, so I produced my first audiobook, man, and that taught me a lot. And then I became a sports massage therapist, and that's paying good money. And I don't have to work my ass off. Like, I'm living the dream, mate, by being a sports therapist. Working for myself, I work for another guy who gets a cut, but he's not really my boss, he's just the owner. So it's fucking great, mate. It's so nice having a job where you do the job, and when the job's done, you go home. There's none of this waiting around in a building, because that's something that always messed me up. Was you had to be in the building for X amount of hours and you couldn't go home until that time was up. It's like, that's not for me, you know?
No happy endings.
No happy endings. One time, but it wasn't a paying client. It was, I was in a relationship.
Who was the happy ender? All right then, so this might get your brain firing.
Right, this is the start. Go.
What's this, podcast fucking 895? Anyway.
Something like that. It's up there.
Do you know when you play an Xbox with the boys and you're in the heat about? I don't know why this always happens with the party we're always in. It's like it always turns gay. Like we'll be like, he's flanking north. First one to get him gets butt fucked, and we're all like, yes, let's get butt fucked. We'll try to get him first in that.
No, no, it's not gay. It's hyper masculinity, mate. It goes so far heterosexual that it comes full circle.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. But we're always in the heat of conversation, and it's always turned really gay, like really gay.
I remember I was having a conversation with someone once a long time ago, and I don't know how we got on the topic, but I just said to him, like, "What's the gayest thing you've ever done?" And he went, "Fuck a guy in the ass." I was like, "It's pretty gay."
It's pretty gay, dude. That's not, if not, the gayest thing.
That is the gayest thing that you could probably ever do. well, no, but sexually, like let's look at things that like I don't know, maybe because like you go back to like when we were younger and you'd say things were gay that weren't gay. It's just because it was gay. Like
Like someone sharpen their pencil and they're like, oh, he's gay. He's fucking
yeah,
sharpened it in the bin as well, and gay on.
sharpening the pencil like with a really good posture. I saw a thing on Instagram where it said that sharpening your pencil over the bin at school that was like your fag break when you were younger.
That's how you knew he was gay.
Yeah, I, there's two dudes sharpening. Come here often. All right, I'll tell you what. Here's something for you, man. That will blow your mind. I haven't told you this one. I'll be keeping this a surprise for you. So about a year ago, I got friendly with this guy who's
That's gay.
yeah, it's pretty gay. And waiting to hear the rest of it. Waiting to hear about the showers. But I got really friendly with him, and he's been working on like the Bond films and that as a rigger. He's director, photographer, and that. He's worked all around the world, man. This guy is good at what he does. And we've been meeting up like once a week for a year, like doing a little writing group called the Goonies.
Mm.
And yeah, we just hit it off. He read my book, he loved it, and then he had me do like a little short film in that. So I did one about my dad and that, and he was really impressed with it. And he said, "Right, next project, you're on it." And he went off to Germany and that with his partner. And it's early days, so I don't want to say too much, but I'm currently writing a screenplay based on a short story that's in Fauville about the doorbell, and
Ah,
that could potentially be, a feature-length movie, mate.
ooh. Kind of like, you know what it reminds me of? Her. You know the film
Yeah,
Her?
it's kind of got that vibe, but it's more Black Mirror in nature because it's all
Yeah.
based in one household.
Okay. Oh, that's sick. That's shit hot, actually, mate.
Yeah,
That's
it's
nice.
early days, mate, but the script's coming along really nicely, mate.
So
I'm
you're
writing it quite.
like writing the script yourself? Like
Yeah,
all
yeah,
you.
yeah. I'm adapt because the short story already exists in its entirety. It's only 6 pages long, the short story, but like it already has a beginning, middle, and end. So I don't have to worry about where the story's going because it's already there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just adding elements to it to really get it going.
That's how. Where the fuck did you meet him?
I was working at the gym I was working at. He was a member in that. We got chatting, and then that was it. And then we just hit it off. Then we met up at Coffee One, and we were there for like 3-4 hours, man, just chat about movies and everything.
That's fucking shit hot.
So yeah, man.
One step closer
Yeah,
to the
easy
dream.
to the dream, mate. And
As long as it's not like The Last Action Hero.
I thought Last Action Hero was a good film.
I watched it the other night, yeah, and like obviously, the whole concept is Arnold Schwarzenegger's inside the film, but obviously inside the film he knows he's Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? He knows he's Arnie playing Jack, whatever the fuck his name is. So, spoiler alert, when they come out of the movie at the fucking end, and he's like, "Oh, who am I? This is significant." And he knows he's Arnold Schwarzenegger already. What the fuck's he on about? You know what I mean?
So you're saying that it has it's a good film that it has a big drop off at the end.
I wouldn't even say it drops off. Like once you know he's Arnold Schwarzenegger playing this guy in a movie, he's already Arnie. He knows he's Arnie because on the poster it said Arnold Schwarzenegger is this man.
Jack something,
Whoever,
innit?
yeah, Jack fucking something. And the kid Danny, I mean, he started fucking annoying me in the end. Anyway, fucking at the end they come out of the movie with the magic fucking golden ticket, and Arnie's like questioning life and shit. Like he doesn't know he's Arnie.
Mm.
Like he's explain this to me.
I think the reason why it's popular, I don't think I've seen the film in its entirety in many, many years. But I think because it was ahead of its time at that time, like that hadn't really been done before. It was this kind of meta, self-referential, you know, action movie. And I think it was John McTiernan. I want to say it was John
Yeah, it
McTiernan that
was the
directed
Die
it.
Hard director. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So Die Hard, Predator. Do you want to? All right. Do you want to hear some juicy gossip about John McTiernan then?
Go on.
All right. So obviously, guy's a legend because he's done the Hunt for Red October, Predator, the Last
Die
Action
Hard,
Hero,
mate.
to name a few. Right. The guy's an '80s, '90s legend, right? And then in 2000, he is doing a remake for a dystopian movie called Rollerball. So Rollerball originally came out in the 1970s, like 76, starring James Caan. You know James Caan from The Godfather?
Yeah.
And the original film's not bad. It's okay. but they're wearing those like roller disco rollerblades, so it's a bit kind of naff. But in terms of like a dystopian thriller, it's really interesting. But anyway, so John McTiernan's doing the remake, and when I was 14 and I watched it, I loved that film because I thought it was great. But it is far removed from the sort of subtext that was in the original movie, and it was just a disaster. And he hired a PI to spy and tap the phones of one of the producers because John McTiernan wasn't getting on with one of the producers. And it all gets found out. The movie bombs, and John McTiernan ended up going to prison for like a couple of years, and his career was over after that.
Fucking jeez.
He was phone tapping his wife as well. So, and he lied in court, so that's why he did prison time.
What, to find out what?
Like what the producer was up to, because he had a vision for the movie. The producer had a different vision for the movie, and they were just clashing, clanking swords.
So he spied on him.
Had a PI, he spied on him, tapped his phones and that. Yeah.
What did he find out? It's like scary movie. He finds loads of fucking sexy pictures of him in that. Like,
I don't know, man. But they have.
You recognize this one, Cindy? It's just him.
Okay. Oh yeah. No, I'm sorry. Okay, thanks. But
he goes to walk off and he comes back. He's like, "What about this one, Cindy?"
But what cracks me up, right? There's one infamous scene in Rollerball where they're in the back of a truck and it's filmed in night vision for some reason. Like the whole scene's just green, like night vision, Splinter Cell green.
You reckon they were trying to go for some like cool futuristic effect though? Like,
no, it apparently wasn't very well lit, so they had to refilm it, and in the end, they just put a night
vision. It's just filming night vision, dude.
And there's one scene where the bike like hits like a barbed wire, and it goes boing. And I'm thinking there must have been an editor at that point saying, "Fuck this movie."
Yeah.
Honestly, like you watch that scene, I think it's on YouTube. It's just rollerball boing.
You know what cracks me up? Whenever I hear the Wilhelm scream now, because it's just post production. Someone should put the Wilhelm scream in there.
Yeah, well, that's another thing. I've been studying a thing called Foleys. So a Foley is someone who their actual job, and there was a guy who works alongside George Lucas, and his job, and the original guy who did this was named Jack Foley. That's where it comes from. And a Foley's job is to make sound effects. So they'll crush glass. They'll like the original Foleys would like tap dance on the floor and that to get walk. All of this has to be mixed in post. You know what I mean? You can't record two people just walking because that's usually you capture the dialogue.
Is there a person in the room when they're doing this?
Yeah. So they'll have their own sound studio.
So they could just be fucking slapping their cock on wood.
Probably.
That could be in fucking films.
That's what I mean. So like, their job is to just make sound. And what's cool is like if they're doing something if they're trying to make a noise of something that doesn't exist, then they have to kind of get creative with it.
Like what, for example?
Well, like even like the Matrix movie, like that scene when Morpheus is telling Neo about the nature of the Matrix, and then there's that one scene where like it goes into the pod and it's got the baby, and the door just goes.
Yeah.
I remember. Sorry for the cough, man. Everyone's ill. I'm all right, but fucking stop fucking coughing.
Everyone's fucking coughing. It's like a South Park episode.
Yeah, but I remember watching the making of the Matrix because I had the whole like little disc collection and that, and there was like a little Matrix Revisited. It was called. It was sound. I loved it.
So like a 4-disc collection with Animatrix and that as well.
Yeah, man, I had the whole shebang.
I never seen Animatrix. Sorry, I keep interrupting. Carry on.
No, Animatrix is good. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But and they were trying to get the sound effect of that of the pod closing, and they were like getting sledgehammers and hitting tires with it and all that. I don't know what they ended up using, but they were just trying all these different sounds.
Yeah.
And that's called a Foley. Their job.
My brain's going wild with what a Foley does behind closed doors to make sounds, man.
Oh mate, it's got to be done. Got to do it. Got to do it.
Slapping his ass cheeks for like slapping sound effects. Just in a room on his own, butt naked, with a mirror and a fucking microphone. Just ooh, that's a good one.
Jack, the guests are downstairs. What are you doing, honey? I'm trying to get a sound effect.
Why have you got bowls next to your cheese grater, Jack? I'm doing Foley stuff. Leave me alone.
Jack, honey, what are you doing with the Reverend's son? Eat my apprentice. Leave me alone.
Sound effects. It's fucking sound effects, all right, love? You don't need to know. Need to
Hey,
know
boy.
business only.
Hey boy, you want to be in the industry? We made it
You want
20
to meet
in.
Harvey?
Yeah. No, Abby, I'm awake. Want to be in Lord of the Rings? I hope that interests you, mate. A little bit of tidbit for you. Something I've been studying.
No, that's cool. I knew kind of like there was dudes that get certain jobs, certain because you know when like at the end credits, it's just fucking
Everything, everything.
yeah, everyone's
Everyone and their mum's packing around
everyone's
here, mate.
doing fucking
One of my favorite films of all time, as you know, is Hot Fuzz because it is probably one of the most it's probably the best written script in
Shaun
existence.
of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead's a good film, don't get me wrong, but I'm on about in terms of its setup and payoff. Like Shaun of the Dead has really good setup and payoff, but I think Edgar Wright and Simon Pegg, when they got together for Hot Fuzz, like I think they just cranked it to 11 because it's bigger setup, bigger payoff. My favorite, well, there's two of my favorite setup and payoffs in Hot Fuzz. The first one is everyone and their mums is packing around here. He's like you, and he goes farmers and farmers' mums, and then just towards the third act, who's he up against? It's Sergeant Nicholas Angel, and he rams the car. And, Mum, she got the shotgun and all that. And he boots her in the face.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking farmers and farmers' mums. And then my all-time favorite that is completely slept on is when they're talking about, oh, do you want us to go through the entire bloody phone book? You want to look up Aaron A. Aronson, right? And then right towards the end when he says that ginger kid, he goes, what's your name, son? He goes, Aaron A. Aronson, sir.
Like Edgar Wright films do have a lot of that in it, though, don't they? A lot
Well,
of
this one's going to
callbacks
get, this one's going to make you wet. You ready for this? Edgar Wright's next movie, an adaptation of Stephen King's Running Man.
Ooh.
Yeah. But yeah, because I'm not a big fan of the 1980s Running Man. I love the book, mate. The book's amazing. And I'm thinking if Edgar Wright's going to be adapting the book, I reckon it's going to be good.
Do you know what? A lot of who's in the original Running Man? Is it?
Arnold Schwarzenegger, I can't remember anyone else.
I just didn't realize how shit of an actor Arnie is, man. Like
Oh,
he's
he's got
awful.
no.
He's got no range. It's just one generic tone,
I know.
even when
I
he's
know.
happy.
Doug, you wouldn't shit your wad. Consider that a divorce.
Yeah. But that's the way he acts the whole time in every film. Terminator.
It's the same with Sylvester Stallone or Jean-Claude Van Damme. Like people knew what they were signing up for. They weren't going there to see like masterclass in acting. Don't get me wrong. Like Stallone these days is an amazing actor. If you ever watched Tulsa King, he's phenomenal in it.
No, I haven't yet. I've seen it advertised a lot.
Yeah, it's good, mate. You like it. It's basically about a gangster who moves to Oklahoma to start a weed business. Well, I say that. I've only watched like a couple of episodes. I was having a conversation with someone. This might make you laugh. Like qualities that I look for in a drug dealer. Like what I consider to be a good, because at the end of the day, they're just a business person, right? I like drug dealers that send me regular newsletters. So like
every list of what they've got.
Every other day you get that text message. Like even if you haven't bought off them in a couple of weeks, they're still sending those newsletters. I'm like, that's my guy, you know. And and especially if they're working full time and that's their side gig, I'm like, you sir are an entrepreneur. Like I'll always support because you got to support your local economy.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and it's like people always like, back in 2020, it's like, oh, eat out to help out and all that. Well, don't forget to sort of help your dealer, especially if they've got a good work ethic. That's all I'm trying to say.
Buy a
I'm
free
not even being
five to
facetious,
keep
mate.
them alive.
Hey, you onto something there, mate. I got one dealer. I like him a lot. You know what I mean? But I don't like his politics, mate. He'd be on Instagram like, oh, mate. They'd fucking throw you in the slam in a heartbeat, mate. Why are you supporting them?
Politics in general now, you see right through the bullshit. You know what I mean? All of it.
Mate, I just want to go back to 1997, mate. Things can only get better.
Get better. Yeah, we need that back, man.
What a time to be alive, man. Like, that advert, just pure nostalgia.
How old
For
were we
people
then,
who don't know,
man?
people don't know what we're talking about. There was a 1997 Labour advertisement that was, and it was just a man walking out in a blue shirt. Right, you didn't see his face, but everyone's just like, "Oh my god!" Thumbs up and all that, and people and a crowd just starts gathering to dreams. Things can only get better, right? And it gets to him like finally voting, and it's just his eye, and then it pulls out, and then it's Tony Blair. And he puts it in the box, and he just smiles, and he's like, "Don't forget to vote." And
those fucking trousers he's wearing, man, those khakis.
Oh mate, that was the best our country had ever been, because then 3 months later Princess Diana dies and it's all downhill from there.
What's that got to do with anything?
Just like the overall morale of the country.
Imagine they used the same song for the Labour Party tune for Diana's funeral.
Fucking savage, mate. Oh, Jesus Christ, that was good,
He
man.
made it sound like it was a good thing. Like, 3 months later, Diana died. The world got better.
I didn't say it got better. I said
No, I know,
morale
but
went
that's
down.
just the way it sounded in my brain. I don't know
What are
why.
you on about, mate? I never said that. That was fake news. Oh, yeah.
No, I didn't say.
Speaking of fake news, Trump won the election, mate. Me and my mum were like up all night watching it.
Yeah, so was I, to be honest, mate. Mate, see, when it comes to like any American like stuff like that, even back in the day when it was Obama v Romney and that, I fucking love it.
Yeah, man.
Always want the wrong person to win, but I think everyone wanted Trump to fucking break
Oh, mate.
free.
I was up till 5 in the morning. And they hadn't counted Pennsylvania yet because that was the big one. Pennsylvania needed a win for it to be like Trump's
It's
one base.
yeah.
And I was like, it was 5 in the morning. I was like, I'm going to bed, and I woke up, and Pennsylvania had won and all that. And then I had like a whole week of just catching up on Stephen Crowder, Ben Shapiro, this, that, and the other. It was great, man. It was great. And
Alex
it's
Jones.
like,
No.
and it feels like there's a cultural shift now. I'm generally like I'm not believe it or not, like I'm not actually a Trump fan. Like I'm a big fan of JD Vance, like his vice president, and listen to him on Joe Rogan, man. That I like JD Vance. But anyway, I'm not a big Trump fan, but I'm not. I don't like the opposition.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I want things to go in this direction, right? And I can feel the sense there's a cultural shift now. Like it feels like we're in a new era now where we're not the minority anymore, where we can just be who we are.
We used to say it a lot back in the day when like there's going to be a turning point, isn't there?
Yeah,
Although
man.
Twitter's a bit mental. Like I'm all for free speech and that, yeah. But when you see people getting their fucking faces blown off every couple of fucking reels, mate, it's a bit disturbing. Do you know what I mean?
I
But
know.
I am all for free speech and that, but that it gets a bit intense sometimes. It's like whoa.
Someone sent me a video of something. It was like a theme park in Middle East, and it's like one of those
Yeah,
things coming down, and a guy just falls out and just slams into the floor. It was an
it's rough.
Instagram
It's
reel,
rough.
and that's when I
Instagram.
knew, like, as disturbing as the video was, I was like, "We're back, baby. This is on Instagram." Like one time, like this was about 2015, like when ISIS was like a big deal,
Mm.
and one of our old friends from school, well, not even our old friends, this is a guy we went to school with. I think he was sharing some crazy stuff, and it was the most disturbing thing I'd ever watched. But I'm glad I watched it because it really kind of teaches you about the world. And it was basically like POV ISIS like executions with like guns, and one of them was I will never forget this. A guy got shot in the head with a shotgun. Like it was an execution, right? And his fucking eyes just popping out of his head
It
and all
wasn't a
that. And
birthday party, was it?
poof,
Happy birthday!
Assalamu alaikum, motherfucker.
Habibi!
Mate, and like his eyes just popped out of his fucking head. Might be like Guinness Book of Records, like like most inches of an eye popping out your skull. I think he won it, mate, but like, I don't think the Guinness World Record adjudicate was there for that one, mate, because he
With
would have
his
won that
fucking
by a land.
stopwatch.
There's some German dude like, okay, and ready, contender, you go on my second whistle.
Gladiators!
Ready.
Ready!
I like how I went from German to Welsh like immediately.
You seen the
Uh,
new Gladiators? That sucks some dick.
no, I haven't watched it, mate.
It's
I'm
not
gonna
like I'm
guess it's
sad.
been.
It's not like I've watched the new old Gladiators and been like cheering out my fucking seat, but at least
I
it's
was,
nostalgic.
I remember going like during lockdown. I remember watching old stuff like that, watching like back to back episodes of Gladiators, like old school Gladiators. I remember I used to
What,
watch
like
it
the
with my
old
uncles.
ones?
Yeah, I used to, on a Saturday now. I used to go around to my uncles, get fish and chips, and that. I'd have my chips and my fish cake. Morning
Yeah,
fish cake.
me and my mum watching the old ones a couple months ago as well, actually, and like, see when you watch it and the contestants just get battered, mate. They're running down like the trial, fucking, they're fucking might as well just been assaulting them, mate. I don't know how anyone won.
It's like 35-year-old PE teacher from Lancaster, and they've got like that Princess Diana hair, and it's like,
Then you've
mate,
just got Wolf, Wolf.
you know what's crazy as well? Like a 35-year-old in the 90s to a 35-year-old today, man, it's like
Light
completely
and
different.
day in it. Light and day.
Like, my ex-girlfriend was 35. I'm like, she does not look like those fucking contestants in Gladiator.
90s hair in it. Totally
Mm.
different, mate. 'Cause I look at pictures of my mum in the 90s, yeah, and she looks like a 60-year-old woman. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's mad.
It looks like she sends her kids out to buy her fags.
Yeah, she still does. I still go shop for her.
Yeah, but it's like back in the day, like you could actually go to the local corner shop with a note from your parent asking for like 20 B&H, and it was like they would
I,
do
re-
it.
I think I can tell this story now because sadly he's no longer with us. But Paul
Who's
on the
that?
van, remember
Oh
the
yeah,
guy who
yeah,
went
yeah,
round in the van? Did you ever come around your street? No, I don't know.
yeah, yeah. I remember him.
But
Yeah, I remember
yeah,
him.
well, he can't get in trouble now. He's D, didn't he? But he used to sell me fags when I was like 13, like growing up for my mum. So it's a legit thing.
Oh, you go off to like Magaluf and that.
I don't think they
Come
were
back with
fake
cheap.
fags. He just sold fags to kids for their mum.
Oh yeah, that's nothing wrong with that, mate. I thought you meant like he was doing like some Gibraltar runs here and there.
Might have been, to be fair. No.
I didn't since we last caught up. Like I went through a stage of watching Airline on YouTube because they started putting all the full episodes on of Airline, and
Hmm.
it's crazy, man. Watching people smoking fags on the plane and that because this is like late
Do
'90s.
you have nostalgia for that though? Because we never got to smoke in pubs and stuff.
I don't know what it was. It's like because I remember watching Airline when I was a kid with my mum and
Hmm.
whoever she was dating at the time. So just seeing like
Whoever she was
Luton.
dating at the time.
Oh no, like she wasn't a slag or nothing. Like
No, no, just
it's
the
like
way
she
you
was.
added it at the end.
Yeah, yeah. Like you know, what I mean, like she'd always been long relationships, but um, yeah. So I went through I went through a phase of watching Airline, and I watched like the first three seasons, and I can't watch anymore now. It's kind of cringe now, but yeah, I was lapping up, man.
Who's the dude that used to always stop people customs? Who is that? What's that dude's name? Wasn't he like famous?
They all kind of became famous. That was the crazy thing, like because you kind of get attached to all the whether it be like the girls working behind the desk or whether it be the guy working on the actual the airport like hangar bit. You kind of get attached to them because it follows them.
Mm.
And there was one scene like one of the it was like a gay air hostess. I think his name was Brendan. And there's one scene like where he's off sick because he's ill, and he's just sat in his pajamas like a fucking lit fag in his bed and all that. I'm like, oh, people used to like smoke in their bedrooms and everything. Like, I know you're smoking right now, but like casually smoking a straight in your bedroom. That's disgusting.
I don't remember the last time I actually smoked a cigarette on its own. Like
Yeah,
it's got to be
like
a
I've got.
while.
It's weird, isn't it? That association is like smoking a joint in your room and all that. There's nothing dirty about that, but a fucking B&H in your jammies under the
Benson and
bed,
Hedges, gold.
rubbing
Straight as
ashtray
fucking.
next to you, like. Ugh. And I remember like being at night, like being at pubs and that, and just that wall of smoke. I used to eat it, like being a kid, like pretend I was Godzilla.
Did you ever used to sit in the car with your mum and like she'd spark a fag and little waft in your face and you'd be like,
I'll do you
oh,
one better than that, right? When I was 12, my dad, his girlfriend at the time, and my sister Kerry and myself were all driving to Scotland, right? 7 hour journey, 8 hour journey. All three of them smoked cigarettes, all right?
mm,
And they're just puffing away,
he's in
like
the back
chain
seat like,
smoking. While I'm just in the back, like 12 years old. Like, my dad felt so bad, he actually quit smoking for about 2 weeks.
two, he's legend.
That's like, I don't feel too good about him having to be in the car like that with all that smoke. So I'm gonna quit. But he eventually did quit smoking, but like not then. That wasn't the time.
I'm on the verge, I think. Don't know about the marijuana, but definitely cigarettes.
I mean, nicotine's a motherfucker, though, isn't
I think I'll be puffing a vape, but just like as a alternative for a while, you know.
when I remember when I first went to Bordeaux, I left my vape in the UK. I left it at the hotel staying at, and as soon as I got to France and that, I was like, oh no, I ain't got a vape. So I'm at the hotel, I get settled in because I was staying at this hotel for a couple of weeks before I finally got a place and all that. And all I wanted was a fucking cigarette. I'm in a city I don't know.
Hmm.
So I just started walking around Bordeaux, just looking for a place for cigarettes.
Cigarette?
And I hadn't smoked for like 24 hours by this point, and I am clucking like you wouldn't believe it. And I finally get some straights from some fucking Afghan something, and because over there they sound like they'll sell you individual fags rather than sell you the whole pack. And I remember just smoking that cigarette, like, ah, best feeling in the world, man.
Yeah, see, mate. See, when you ain't had a smoke for a while and that fast drag, nothing beats it, mate. Nothing beats it.
Yeah, man. Oh, man,
Nothing.
you keep chatting, man. I'm gonna smoke my pipe, man. Keep going.
Nothing beats the old days of like, like now how we've got shit hot fucking machinery and 4K tellies and Xbox Series X's and X's and PS5s and every fucking MacBook under the sun. Nothing beats the old days of box tellies and N64 and GameCube. Do you know what I mean? And that N64 controller just shoving the tip up your ass. And no, I just said that for comedic effect. But do you know what I mean?
Oh, no, he's looking at you.
It's like no, but do you know what I mean? Those nothing beats those. See if I had a fucking glass TV here right now and old school retro Xbox with a fucking SCART cable. I think I'd be playing that more, you know, just because we
I'm,
grew up in that golden era.
yeah, yeah. When it comes to here's something for you that'll make you a bit jealous, right? There's a new place that's opened up in Weymouth called Sticks and Bones,
Mm.
and they've got like a Super NES, they've got an Xbox there, they've got a GameCube there, they've got arcades there,
Like a
and
retro
it's a
thing.
yeah, it's a bar where you can just play retro consoles and that. And I was playing on the Super NES and all that, and I did not like it at all. I don't like the button configuration. I don't like how the B and the A button are like mixed up in there.
That wasn't like our era though.
No, I know, but they were doing like a Smash Bros competition as well,
Yeah, which is
and
yeah.
but no, it was January, man, so there's fucking no one there. And but
Was
yeah,
that
it
on
was just
GameCube?
yeah, it was on GameCube. Man. I got my GameCube out the other day. I was playing Metroid Prime, and I played it for a good hour and a bit, and I missed it, man. It was a good game.
See, that's what I mean though.
Metroid Prime's my jam. That's one of my favorite games.
I think I think now I've been collecting for it. Yeah, I think 360 the 360 era was my all-time fave.
Yeah, I think that's one of my favorite because it was also one of the best controllers as well. Like that's when
Yeah.
controllers started getting better. Because like the GameCube, like what's weird about the GameCube, especially with Metroid Prime, it's not dual analog; it's
Mm-hmm.
target lock. So like if you wanna, yeah,
It's one analog, isn't it? That yellow analog's like for different shit, innit? The
yeah.
GameCube. Is that what you're about?
Like, I'm gonna be naughty. So 1 second.
Oh, naughty boy, naughty, naughty. What's he doing behind there? Let's guess. Let's have it. Let's play the guessing game, shall we? Do you reckon
I
he's
don't want
got?
to be the guy known with a nutcase for a brother. Yeah, shit, I water all over my shorts.
I think he's got a bottle there that he's pissing in just for because he can't be asked going to the toilet and waking people up. So I think he's urinating, maybe.
Fucking shit.
Um, maybe he's doing heroin. He's known for that. Do you ever go down like a fucking real rabbit hole? You're just like flicking from one to the next, to the next, to the next. So then
In
just
what
cut
regard?
just fucking rabbit holes of reels, mate, and just out of the
Oh, you mean
fucking
like on Instagram and that?
yeah, yeah. Shorts on YouTube, anything, mate.
Yeah, man. Like, I've had to limit my Instagram time to like an hour, so it reminds you like when my hour's up and that.
There's
and
one I come across the other day that's like it's like five American dudes dancing in a garage. Have you ever seen it? And it's like someone's going up behind them, like it's just a random guy in the street filming them from behind. They all turn around like, oh hey, I'm Dave and this is Zach and and the comments are just shredding them, mate. It's perfect. I love that shit.
I'll send memes and reels to the same 5 people. Like there's one girl who I just send memes to all the time. I know this woman. Like I've physically met this woman. Like she used to go to my gym and that. And that's what. And she loves the podcast, by the way. She watches our podcast. Her name's Sam. So hello,
Hi
Sam. If you're
Sam.
watching this, yeah, she's sound. And that's what we do. Is we just send memes to each other all the time. And one time I just said like, oh, "I'm lonely. Do you want to hang out?" And she didn't reply, and she just kept sending more reels. I'm like, "Oh, fuck me then, right?" It's like, "Hey Samantha, this is why men kill themselves. You fucking bitch. Just hang out with a bro." I even messaged her
So
about
she,
it.
so she, you've said, oh, you want to hang out, and she's just sent another reel like,
Yeah,
no
like,
comment.
yeah. Like, thanks, Sam. Fucking,
Girls just want you for your man juice, bro.
she don't want that, mate. She just wants to send me reels, mate. And I got to accept that dynamic. Like, who am I to say otherwise? I'm like, I'll be that guy.
You've been real zoned.
That's good. I like that. That's good, mate. You should patent that shit, man.
Well, probably too late now. Some dad will fucking the one viewer will fucking take my idea and run with it. And he'll become a millionaire, and we're stuck here fucking coming up with ideas for other people.
I'll tell you one thing that I enjoy watching sometimes is I think it's like Vanity Fair or whatever it is on YouTube or something like that, or GQ, where they do interviews of people that became memes
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
they
yeah.
give the backstory on the meme.
Which one?
And let me think. One of them, the Emma Ghostbusters girl,
Which one?
when she's holding the Ghostbusters book and she's got that Emma Gad look
Oh
about her.
yeah, yeah.
That was an interesting one. Well, I'll list off a few and then I'll break down the ones I can remember, all right? And bear in mind, I've just smoked a pipe, so my memory's going to go to shit soon. I don't care. But what it was is like when I was watching the old podcasts, I would kind of cringe at the times I was too high, and I couldn't even say like fucking Vincent D'Onofrio.
Donofrio.
Donofrio. And like those parts of the podcast were hard to watch because I'm like, man, I was like, Dan, you're too stoned, mate.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it, though.
Like the funny thing is, like one of the most liked, like one of the most highly rated episodes is the one where we're high as shit.
Which one is that?
Is that gay?
Oh, is it really?
People love fucking everyone loves that one, and I'm thinking I don't because I don't find it interesting. It's funny.
It's because we come up with a concept before we started the podcast, and then we would just try to fucking see how many things we could come up with being gay, if that's gay, ulterior ways of being gay.
Mate, I was having a panic attack.
What? Like, no, yeah, I know. I remember. Yeah, not like I was just staring at you.
I was on the verge of a panic attack. So like, I just finished work, and I will go back to the topic of the memes. So don't worry, I haven't forgotten. But I just finished work, and like at the time I was working in the gym, I actually used to do like a proper full-on HIIT class and all that, so I get a good workout on that. And then I finished work at 8, came straight to the
racks. That's so gay.
Yeah, it's gay, man. Yeah, man, that's a weird concept, man. The thought that every week 20 to 30 people would be staring in my direction for 45 minutes.
While you're thrusting your hips around.
While I'm doing
dudes
like,
there.
There were more women than dudes. Let's put it that way. They were like, it would start off.
Was there more than 3 dudes?
Here's what would happen, right? It would start off with like women, like middle-aged to elderly women, like, and then their husbands would start, coming.
I'm just like husbands, mate. I think they were not husbands.
No, but like, I think if they were husbands, they was like, hey, what she fucking.
Just Ricky was walking past like, hey.
Why all our wives banging on about this HIIT class? Like, I gotta fucking check this out. And I'm so naive at the time that I'm just like, I didn't think like that because I'm always stuck in my own fucking head.
You've made many of you men gay, and you've turned.
No, it's not making men gay. It was just like.
In the gym, have you ever had like a man try and like touch you and like?
Oh yeah, like there's gay dudes in that like that tell me I look good in that, and it makes me feel good about myself. So I appreciate it.
I mean, like sexually harassing you, like no. Would you kick their ass, or would you say politely just be like, "Excuse me, friend"?
I got sexually assaulted twice, right? So.
Do you not get
by women, right? Not men, by women.
I don't know if I want to hear these stories, man.
Oh, they're hilarious, mate. I like it.
Mate,
this is comedy. This is comedy, mate. Right? So, there was a woman named Janet. Right? She was like old. She was like 75, and she looked and sounded like Bo Selector doing Mel B, but with blonde hair.
You bastard, yeah.
That was her voice. That's how she sounded.
Oh yeah.
And she would do she would do the aqua classes. She did the same fucking routine every other day. Same routine. I'm just sat at a lifeguard board, like bored shitless. But anyway, Janet and her old women liked me because I was one of the older lifeguards, and I'm a master of the 1,000-yard stare. So when you've been lifeguarding long enough, you learn to zone out, but you have an instinct where it's what's known as the ladder of death. So the ladder of death is when someone's drowning, they look like they're climbing a ladder, right?
Yeah.
If I saw that in my peripheral vision, I would fucking snap out of my little daze, and I would, go into action. I've saved 4 people from drowning, And where am I going with this?
Getting sexually assaulted by a 75-year-old woman.
I'm a waffling. Sorry, mate.
No. You said where was I going with this?
Yeah. So they loved me because I would be staring in their direction, but because they're old, they can't see me because old people can't see past fucking 5 feet, can they? And everything's just a blur after that. So as far as they're concerned, my blur is just fucking being attentive and staring at them. Meanwhile, I'm between thinking about my novel and a pair of tits. You know what I mean?
It's just how long 5 meters and then a blur after that. That's golden, that is.
But that's what I'm saying. So I knew that I'd get away with that. So I'm just fucking, Vincent D'Onofrio in Full Metal Jacket, thinking about other things. And they're like, oh, he's really good. He just stares at the pool all the time. Whereas the other lifeguards are just tired. And because I couldn't sit still. So you were allowed to walk around the pool carrying what's called a torpedo boy, like a big red flotation device thing. And I would master the NPC way of life of just pacing up and down for 30 minutes, back and forth, and just be in my own little world, writing my book or writing an idea or just a concept. Shit that I've said to you on the podcast all came from, the musings of being at a pool.
Just
not
doing your job correctly. Yeah, that's.
I was good at my job and bad at my job at the same time. I was good at doing my job bad.
That makes sense.
Yeah, something like that. So yeah, I saved 4 people, so no one fucking died when I was on shift. So yeah, I'm good at my job.
Did anyone die while at all?
Yeah, and people who have been in those positions. Yeah.
Holy shit.
So anyway, so Janet liked me as a result of that, right? She didn't like any of the other lifeguards. What's that? Sorry.
No one dying on your watch. She liked that about you.
No, she liked the fact that I, apparently paid attention to the pool.
That made her big bush wet.
Probably. But anyway, so I was having some banter over one time.
Fucking Jesus Christ.
So I'm having banter over one time. I've got this real dry sense of humor. I was always just fucking with them, and they just kind of like took. I don't know. They just kind of went with it. But I said something, and she got offended. But like, she was offended.
You cheeky bastard, Joe.
And she slapped my ass.
What, and you call that sexual harassment?
Well, imagine if it was a 75-year-old man and a 26-year-old woman.
If I was the one lifeguarding and the 76-year-old man slapped me on the ass, I wouldn't mind. I'd be like, oh, hello, sailor.
No. I'm not saying there's any. Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry to catch you off guard there.
Yeah, that was a curveball there, mate. Fucking hell. But anyway, so I told my dad
that goes back to the point from playing Xbox with the boys. I kind of have a weird thing about turning shit gay. Even
that's
though
cool.
I'm not
I appreciate it. It's full circle.
With it,
It's full circle, mate. It's full asshole.
Yeah.
So anyway, she slapped my ass.
Asshole.
She slapped my ass, and I didn't think anything of it, man. I just thought that's funny. And I told my dad about it, right? But my dad, like, he can get really sort of like liberal sometimes.
Offended.
Like, he gets that liberal rage.
Well,
he's
not
like,
offended, but...
how fucking dare she slap your ass, son? You know what I mean? He's like very much like, would that be a liberal? Anyway, so.
It all gets confusing, man.
And then he told me, imagine you were a 26-year-old woman and that was a 75-year-old man. I was like, that's an interesting point, Dad. So that was the first time I was sexually assaulted.
How many times were you assaulted? Twice? 3 times?
Twice, mate. Twice. So the second time.
Was she 75 or younger?
She was old. So yeah, she was old, mate. So I used to be a swim teacher at Haven, and one of the people that I taught to swim was a very old woman, and she come in with a little walking stick, like one of those modified ones.
Well,
like
she couldn't even walk on her own.
Well, I know, because she got bad hip, right? She got a gammy hip, so like she got one of those like big fucking tentacle like crutches. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Similar frame kind of thing.
So like when you're teaching someone how to swim,
is it like one-handed or?
Yeah, one-handed. Yeah, it's one-handed, mate.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what you mean.
I hope that really paints the picture for you, mate. So
yeah, it's like the fucking Wonder Wheel on Beverly Hills Cop 3. The fucking octopus.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Anyway.
So I'm teaching her how to swim, right? And I fucking hated swim teaching, and I'll tell you why. Because it would. Did
you have to hold her hips while she?
Well, I had to hold the small of her back. So when like and these pools aren't any deeper than like 1.5 meters, right? These are very shallow pools, 1.2 meters, mate. They're not deep at all. I'm in the very shallow part of it, and I get to lean back on my hand. The small of her back goes against my hand, and then she starts to kick and all that. And that's how you introduce the backstroke to someone, right? It's one of the safest ways, one of the easiest things to teach to start off with. And she would purposely like pretend to stumble and then fucking grab my arm. She's always grabbed my arm. And another lifeguard, Joe, we've interviewed him before, Joe Southcott, the magician guy.
Mm-hmm.
He was also a swim teacher as well. So like me and him would have a bit of banter about it, because I think her name was like Lorraine or something like that. And we'd take it in turns. And we nicknamed her Barbara Bush.
Take it in turns in what? Fucking. Oh.
No, mate. So we nicknamed her Barbara Bush because every time she'd go back and do the backstroke, mate, those fucking pubes rising up, man.
No.
Man, there's a little fucking anemone growing in there, mate.
Like seaweed.
I saw Nemo pop out, mate.
The
Like,
lost city of Atlantis.
it's like something out of like a 1970s horror, like a fucking snuff movie. I'm joking, mate.
Rebel
Cannibal
Holocaust.
Cannibal Holocaust. That is one of the first original found footage
That
genre.
was a tough one. That was definitely a tough one.
I didn't even watch it, mate. To be honest,
I
I
haven't watched it
entertained
either, to be fair.
I entertained the idea from time to time. I ended up
Yeah.
just catching it
Anyone
and
like
like,
suggests that movie like in a serious manner, tell them to fuck off.
yeah. All right, here's a question for
Artsy.
you.
All right.
Here's a question for you. All right, question for you. What is
What?
the worst movie you've ever had to watch on a date? And not even a date, but like just hanging out with your woman, you know?
Yeah, but even even when you're watching a good movie, it just ends up you end up fucking, right. Like there's no.
No, but you know when you're like, no, because like either scenario you're at a cinema or like you just it's not one of them nights. And like even when you do end up fucking, it's kind of like it's bittersweet because you kind of like bummed out about the movie.
Oh man,
And it's like
that's a
you end up
it's
like having
sounds like an
aggressive
easy
sex
question, but it's
because
not. It's quite a tough question.
you end up having aggressive sex because you're so angry at how bad the movie was. Piece of shit movie. Honey,
Fucking
calm down.
fucking
Honey,
fuck
calm
you,
down.
fucking. Oh, I'm trying to think of a bad movie. God damn it.
Sorry. All right. Do you want me to go first?
Fucking.
One of the worst dates I ever went on was with you, mate, when we went to go see The Invitation.
That's not a date, is it?
It's just hanging out with your boy, but that was dog shit, mate. That's never left me.
But that's why I haven't watched the trailer since. Yeah, and been like, I'm going to watch that. I'm not falling for trailers anymore. That's what
Like,
got me. The trailer looked intense and good, and then it wasn't. Probably that is probably up there in the top 10 of
well,
biggest dog shit movies I've ever seen in my life.
without
Like,
sounding gay, some of the best like cinema experience I've had has been with you, mate.
oh man, I've just got a boner.
Yeah, is your vulva moistening?
Um, no, you're right, Jackie Brown, mate. That was an experience.
Jackie Brown was something else, man, and I loved it. And I loved how those two people got up and left during that scene when Robert De Niro has sex with like awkward sex with
Oh yeah,
Bridget Fonda.
I think so. Yeah, yeah.
Because
No, that
there's
was
two different there's two Fondas, and sometimes I get them mixed up. There's the
Jane
old one,
Fonda.
Jane Fonda,
Is it Jane
Bridget
Fonda?
Fonda, Bridget Fonda.
um,
I think it's Bridget Fonda.
I think you're right, mate. Yeah, Jane Fonda is a different
Jane
African
Fonda's
Fonda
that old
lady.
bitch that like everyone hates because she was talking shit about the Vietnam veterans back in the '60s.
Something like that. Jane
So
Fonda.
like
Yeah. No.
young men destroyed that woman's, well, nearly destroyed that
Long
woman's
let
career.
it Mac Daddy. She sounds like
I don't know that. She was in some shitty J Lo movie, but yeah, like Jackie Brown was amazing, man, and yeah, and people walked out when that sex scene happened. It's just it fades to black. It goes. I love the setup. It's like it's just Louis and Mel are in the house together because Aldell leaves them because like Aldell knows that his boy's just out of prison, so and he needs to get laid. So Aldell does the bro move and leaves, leaving Louis and Melanie. So I'm just high. But
that.
and then she's like pointing at a picture, like that's a picture of me in Japan. The whole time I was there, was the only goddamn picture of me in Japan. And he's like, And she's like, you want to fuck? And he's like, yeah. And they just fades to black, and it's just 3 minutes later.
Yeah.
And they're just upright. He's still got a shirt on, and he's like wheezing. He's like,
Yeah. Those two people left. They did leave after that. Yeah, yeah, I remember. But
that
you know
was
what
so
was good
funny.
as well? When we ate those fucking cookie edibles and we were like, these are doing fucking nothing, right? We went and watched
Yeah.
Spider-Man No Way Home, the extended version. Like
Yeah.
halfway through the film, I was sitting there like,
Hmm. Did it hit you?
yeah, it hit me. It did hit me because I ate more because I was like, this is shit.
I
And
don't
then,
remember feeling anything from that.
you know,
I just remember watching the movie
that's exactly the point. Because the movie was so good as well. Like the extended, I don't understand why they didn't just have that as the full movie.
because it
Like,
ends up being like nearly a 3 hour movie, doesn't it?
yeah, still, look at some other 3 hour movies that were dog shit. Napoleon, for example.
You know what I reckon it is? My theory is that they were meant to be in the final movie, but they didn't have time to finish the scenes.
Well, they knew they were going to release it on cinema
Oh,
day.
Yeah,
So
re-releases.
fucking
Like it made an extra. It made like an extra $100 million in the re-release.
exactly. See, you can't fucking trust anyone now, mate.
I know, mate. It's all a ruse. And
Fucking David Icke was right, mate. Nah, I'm joking. I don't even know what I'm talking about now.
um,
Remember, no, but remember the guy that fucking what film? I think it was The Invitation we went to go and see, and
no, it was. I think it was Jackie Brown, right?
was
So
it Jackie
because I was
Brown?
really excited about all this, I've been harping on about it for about 2 weeks to you.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, Sean, Jackie Brown's going to be playing in the cinema. A month later, Sean, it's getting closer to Jackie Brown being out in the cinema, mate. It's like you're going whether you want it to or not.
Was it Jackie Brown as well? When I won't say his name, but he was like, "Oh, he's again cinema," and
Oh no, Jacob. Yeah, I fucking say his name, mate. Jacob's like, oh, I'll come along. We don't like this guy, and I just couldn't put up with the shit anymore. I was like, Jacob, mate, you're not invited. He's like, well, I'll just go by myself then. And I was like, I'm joking. I'm joking, mate. Because as
I'm
I said
joking.
it,
I'm not. Just leaving
it
the
hit
house
him
like
right.
I'm not
Like
fucking.
he looked like he wanted to exchange fists, and
He did look like he would have kicked your ass, man. Jesus Christ.
I would have fucking kicked fuck
Yeah,
out of
I
him.
know you would have kicked his ass, but he looked like he wanted to kick your ass at the time. He had that I want to kick your ass face, you know?
Yeah,
Like you
but,
what? I'll go by myself, then you motherfucker. I love Jackie Brown.
and that's why I said I was joking because I was like, no, please don't go because it like anyway. So
No, this is
he he,
a date
he
between me and Sean. I'll have you know, Jacob.
yeah,
So why don't you go fuck yourself?
I'm taking my boyfriend, mate. I don't like you.
Yeah, going on a
So
date, butt fucking and watching Jackie Brown. Oh yeah.
so I get the
Don't get me
tickets right,
started.
and you're just power walking like you just go into a mindset like when
It's
you're
like
like
I'm not gonna
Newton.
fucking watch Jackie Brown.
Well, you're
I
like
want to get in
Newton's
there.
second. I think you're like Newton's third law or something like that because like once you have momentum, mate, like
I think I
there's no
nearly hit the speed
stopping
of
you.
light.
And there was some guy in a tux who was just like,
Man, he looks
excuse
like he
me,"
was
and
in
I'm
the
running behind you
FBI.
going, "I got the tickets, I got the tickets," and then you're just like, "Well, I thought you're gonna kick my ass there."
Like, whoa, dude. He pure strut up to me, chested me.
Mate,
Like, whoa, dude, I've got a ticket. You can kick my
sometimes I
ass.
felt like I was your fucking parole officer at times.
Why?
Moments like that, I'm just like, "Whoa, he's with me, he's with me."
Cinema's the best though, man. You can't beat the cinema
Well,
experience.
got some bad news for you, mate. Cineworld closed down.
Was it gone now?
Yeah, so
Oh.
it closed down on New Year. So the last film I went to go see that I took Kane. Went to go see Home Alone 2, mate. I was laughing my ass off.
I watched Home Alone 2 before Christmas as well. That was my go-to movie, actually.
Yeah, I watched it. Yeah, but mate, I was laughing harder than anyone else. I was like, oh, fucking goddamn it.
Really? You actually
I,
laughing that hard? Were
I
you
mean,
high as fuck or?
I wasn't even high, mate. I was just like this.
It's kind
I'm
of
a
creepy,
sucker.
man.
I'm a sucker for slapstick, mate. Like that one bit when he's on that grease and he's just fucking slipping, and he
Harry, I've
lands on it.
reached the top. I love that bit,
Yeah,
mate.
and he lands on his ass. He just, it's like, "Ah."
Yeah,
Like,
mate. The last 20 minutes, 30 minutes is
and
funny. I'll give you that.
even even from an artistic perspective, mate, like from a creative perspective, I can really break it down and appreciate it even more because I'm like the camera angle that is sort of I forget what they call it now, but it's basically locked in on a close-up shot as he's sliding forwards,
It's not
and
POV. It's the opposite. It's the opposite of POV.
and and what makes it, it's like a steady cam. Like they use like a steady cam or something like that.
Mm.
And what I love about it is like in comedy, you want it to be the frame to be close on the face. Not saying that that's a golden rule of comedy because like you also got sight gags as well. So sometimes it's funny to have like a
I think that's just
you
the
know
golden rule anyway, where you never have your back to the audience, like kind of thing. Nah,
yeah I guess so
you
right.
just make that up.
No, it really
Kind of like
depends
year
because like,
three bullshit.
well no yes and no like they teach you shit at school that wasn't necessarily true because they'd say things like don't do this don't do that and said but it depends like in school they taught us don't ever let your story just be a dream all right and it's true to some extent but it's also false because
Don't be left in the PE cupboard with Mr. Miller. I was trying to think of one of my teachers' names, but I couldn't. I made one up.
oh I
He'll
made up
butt
like
fuck you.
yeah
You'll have
so
hair on your chest before the age of 15 if you're left alone with.
I mean I remember being 14 I remember my first armpit hair mate I remember my first armpit hair
I
I
remember
was
Eddie Q's first armpit hair. He was running around PE like, guys, look! And then someone ripped it out.
I thought you were going to say it was his knob.
Oh, nah. It kind of looks similar to his knob, though. It was that small.
He was the first man to get like TMZ, wasn't
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, like not catfish, man, but what is it?
he?
Revenge porn, maybe?
Yeah, because that's like a
Kind
crime now.
of.
He got fucking crimed on, mate. Like Basically, that was bad. That was bad English. My apologies. I'm better than that. But
Yeah, but
yeah,
kudos for him for not screenshotting their titties.
no, but like when you stop to think about it, it's like, oh my god, he like we shouldn't have said his name, but you know what? Like I'm
Yeah, but
sure
we can
he's
say
got
his
a phone
second
up.
name. He could be anyone.
Yeah,
Edward
he could be
Norton.
anyone.
There you go.
Edward Norton, right? So he he got he got his knob out on MSN webcam and someone screenshot it. And this is not a screenshot like on your. It's not on your phone where like you hold two buttons. It's like you had to control and like print screen. I think it
Control
was
Alt
like
C.
something like
Alt
that. Yeah.
F5.
And then you had to crop it. Like you had to put it on Microsoft Paint and crop it.
No, but they
And
made sure to fit his shirt in as well, so everyone
yeah, I
knew
know
who
they
it
fit
was.
till framing, didn't they? And I anyway. So
His
but
whole
here's the thing. Like
frame.
this is
How are they making a? They must have went in paint and enlarged
hey,
it. Like
this is how spicy this was. Right. This went viral twice. Right. So the first time it happened, I didn't pay any attention to it. Like I wasn't friends with Edward Norton, but but like he was always kind of a dick to me, right? But I was kind of a dick too back then. And when all that happened, I didn't get involved in it because I was like, all right, we might not like each other, but I'm not going to pile on this little controversy that you just had, your Charlie Sheen moment, your David Hasselhoff moment, and
and by winning,
then it kind of just like he didn't come to school for like a week or something like that. No one saw him, and
never
then
seen him again.
like 3 months later, it came back. Like I remember being at PE and someone just got that phone out and went right up to him.
I'm
One of the
sure it was
hard
the year later. No,
might have been a year later then. Yeah, maybe it was. I think like
like it
year
was
11.
forgotten about. He's like,
And
my
then it
dick's
just
not
came
small.
back. But it came back. Like that never happened. And I saw it and I was like, I saw it. And again, I didn't laugh. I didn't like I wasn't a dick
Oh, come
about it.
on.
But in my head, I did think that's a pretty small dick. You know, it was like a
I
pinky.
think it made everyone in the whole year feel better about themselves. Like
Yeah.
everyone, but him. And he
Mate,
had
I
another
would
month
not wish
off.
that upon
Yeah, but I remember he used to say stuff like he had a roller coaster in his backyard, and
yeah, but
he
that
was one of
doesn't
those guys who
warrant
was like VIP tickets behind Slipknot every
that
weekend, like that kind of
that
guy. He
doesn't
deserved it. That's bad karma, man.
I don't know, man. I don't think that
You can't be saying
warrants.
you're going to fucking see Slipknot VIP tickets every weekend and not get your penis exposed. Come on, that's worth a
All right,
penis
all right.
exposure.
Let's take a step back here, right? You know, right?
I
You
wouldn't want
just
my
don't.
penis exposed, but
You just don't do that. Like, I remember taking my shirt off once on webcam, and you guys took a screenshot of it and put it on fucking MySpace page. I'm like, why would you do that? I was 16 now with no shirt on. Like, anyone could have preyed on that. That fucking 144p image quality.
uh, that was just
It was November
80
too,
bank
so like I
man,
was
man.
pale. Like I was pale. I didn't have a chest because I wasn't working out back then. I
Yeah,
was
but
just,
mate, we also deleted every single one of your friends and left you with two as
yeah,
well. So
thanks.
you had to
And you
start
left
all over
yeah,
again.
you left Niall and Dean Colley. Thanks. And then you put my profile picture as like a bunch of guys with their dicks in each other's asses. I'm like, mate, I was 15 at the time.
It was so weird.
I
We didn't
know.
think about we didn't think about 30-year-olds down the line like masturbating to it. Like
Well, it's
we
gone now,
didn't
mate.
think that far,
MySpace is
but
dead. MySpace
yeah,
is dead.
luckily fucking hell. Well, what did we
I,
change your fucking song to? I can't remember.
I don't know, mate. But I got I still got some pictures on there, mate. I still got the login. So,
Yeah,
but
but I don't even think you can like get the pictures anymore. I've
do you know?
tried.
Sometimes I do what's called dialogue exercises. So, for no context, I'll just write dialogue. And one of them was called Autistic Poltergeist. So, a guy is looking to rent a room, and he finds this like duplex, this like converted bungalow where the top floor is up for rent. He checks it out and all that, and it's really good. It's really nice, and it's a good price as well. And the guy that owns it is an old guy named Max. Max is like, right, you interested? And he goes, I just got to let you know one thing. I got a ghost. He goes, a ghost? He goes, poltergeist, to be more precise. He said, it took me 2 weeks to learn that word, poltergeist. And he says, yeah, an autistic kid. He said, see those little toy cars over there? There's all these little plastic cars in a perfect little row. He says, that's his doing. He says, and don't even think about moving those cars even by a millimeter because you'll go apeshit. And the guy's like thinking, he's having me on here. And Max says, the trick is to appease the little bugger. So what I do every night, 6 o'clock as I pop in a shepherd's pie in the microwave every night, and he doesn't cause any fuss. And the guy says, "Does he eat the shepherd's pie?" And Max says, "Of course he fucking doesn't. He's a ghost, but he likes his routine." You know what I mean?
What's your
You know,
favorite narrating style to write in?
third person POV, third person limited.
So like, whose aspect would that be from?
Well, it's she, he perspective, and but it has a sort of bias about it, so that the narration has a kind of just yeah, it has the narration has a bias about it because it's coming from the perspective of the character.
Like they would be the character in the story narrating the story, but it's from a third person.
It's a third person, but the interpretation of the world around them is skewed based on their perception of it.
Yeah, yeah. Would that be like your go-to writing style?
Yeah, yeah. Because and don't get me wrong, like I like writing in first person as well. I even learned how to write in second person. Um, Second person is a bit of an odd one to use. I don't like it when it's done poorly. People will just use the second tense. They'll be describing something. They'll be like, "It's so cold, it would make it would make you cold." That's a second person perspective. It would, you grab the gun and shoot. That's second person perspective,
So is
right?
if the reader is the person in the book kind of thing, no? 'Cause that's what it sounds.
You're the person.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You, the audience, are the person. That's second person. And I don't like it when it's used like that. But when I do like it being used is when it's appropriate for the perspective of what's going on. Like, to give an example, like that scene in RoboCop, when it's just from his head, after he's been killed, and they're creating him, that could be technically be second person perspective because we're seeing it through his eyes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's an interesting take in a movie. I think it's
Yeah,
difficult to
and it
read
works in
from.
literature too. I've used it in literature, like where one specific thing, like in a novel I've got coming out, there's one scene that takes place, there's one chapter that is entirely in second person perspective because you have a character who's a time traveler, but when he returns to his present day, he's comatose. He can't communicate with the outside world. He's got people tending to him
Mm-hmm.
who are the ones responsible for, keeping him going and allowing him to go back in time. Kind of like 12 Monkeys vibes. But he can't communicate. So that whole chapter's done in the second person perspective. You are comatose. You are watching the nurse come to you.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why, but I've been like really interested in different like narrative types recently. I don't know why. I've just been like searching it loads and
Yeah.
trying to figure out what this what narrating style I want to go for because I don't know like because you try and do it your own way, it ends up being cheesy. I actually want to fucking research it in that.
Mix
So
around with it.
just
See how you feel. Is your voice better channeled through first person, third person? If it's going to be third person, you've got different options. You've got third person limited. You've got third person objective. You've got third person omniscient. Omniscient being like the narrator
you know
is
what?
God.
There's no Big Lebowski style,
Yeah,
like from a
yeah,
character's perspective, but he's not part of the story, but he is. You know
yeah. What would that be called? I think that might be.
that style of narration is what I want, what I want to go for. But how do you
Yeah.
incorporate a character that's he's just in the sideline but knows everything? It's hard, mate. It's difficult. It leads to kind of plot holes that way, really. But the Big Lebowski it works because
Have you ever seen the Coen Brothers movie Barton Fink?
about and think. Is that what you
Yeah,
said? No, I
Barton
haven't.
Fink.
No.
Oh, it's fucking brilliant, man. You know the guy who plays Jesus in The Big Lebowski?
Yeah.
He's the main character, and John Goodman. I've only watched it once. It was a while ago. I need to watch it again. But basically, he is I want to say he's a film scriptwriter, and he's in this dingy hotel and all that. And there's a lot of fucking, yeah, it's just crazy, mate.
What's it called?
Barton Fink.
About and think. I have
And
to
John
Google.
Goodman's like some evil, like murderer or something like that, but like they get quite friendly.
Okay. Yeah. What's next on my hit list, mate? I've been using this app called Letterboxd. It's like every time you watch a film, you review it and blah 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 and log it. It's quite cool actually, mate. You should download it. But
You
I've
get
been
free movies, do you?
Nah, it's like an app where you kind of log movies you've been watching, put movies on a watch list, new movies come out. You like I follow a dude that are on Instagram that have a podcast and they use it, and we kind of like each other's shit a lot. Like you pretty much reviewing movies like nerds, but
Yeah,
like
nice.
it's cool. But I forgot where the fuck I was gonna say. Yeah,
Mhm.
I've got like I've been rewatching all the fucking Marvel films in release order. I'm on Ant-Man at the minute.
Yeah.
I've actually never watched Ant-Man 1, so looking
No,
forward to it.
I boycotted it because they done over Edgar Wright.
Oh, really? Yeah, fuck. That sucks.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
he
remember
was
him being attached to it, you know.
yeah, he was writing and directing it, but they got rid of him. Creative differences.
Ah, that sucks. But yeah, what have I watched recently, mate? Beverly Hills Cop 3. For some reason,
Huh?
I was nostalgic for it because back in the day, I used to love it. Now we go to like Wonderworld, like the theme park. He's
Right.
this fucking who's he following? Some dude who shot his fucking sergeant at the start. Spoiler alert. Um, does it work if you say spoiler after you've spoiled it, or
Doesn't really matter
yeah. Who invented walking forwards, by the way? Why did we not walk backwards?
because of our knees.
Huh? Because
Our
our
knees.
knees.
Because of our knees, like the way we bend, the way a joint moves.
Yeah, but it's not uncomfortable to walk backwards.
I
When
suppose
you
it isn't,
see
man.
when your wind's blowing in your face and you walk backwards, it doesn't.
Doesn't it hit you harder because you?
No,
I don't know.
no, it feels better.
I don't know. It'd be hitting you harder if you're moving towards the wind.
Exactly. Yeah, you're
It's
going
tell that
backwards.
fucking failed geography, can't you?
Now, wouldn't that be science?
Well, fucking failed
Physics.
life, mate. Just failed
Like,
everything, mate.
nah.
Matt, I got an NCFE level 2 in radio, mate.
You massage people. You pass that.
Now I'll tell you a funny one, right? So did I tell you my I had a radio um
All
assignment that
right,
I
this
had to
is
do.
Deepak coming from you. 105 point live.
It was
This is
oh,
Sting.
oh mate, it was so funny, right? So I was reviewing movies, right? And one of them was Fast and Furious 4.
What on a radio show?
Yeah, yeah, like for college as part of our assignment, we all got
All
given
right, this is
15.
years ago. Okay, all right.
Yeah, in 2009, we all got given 15-minute segments to do. So I had my 15 minutes,
Fast
and
and Furious 4.
yeah, the Fast and Furious when they all came back after Tokyo Drift,
Yeah, yeah.
2009, right? And Dragon Ball Evolution and all that come out and shit. But and I was in a proper recording studio because it was in college. So I had all the dials and all that, and the big microphone and the headphones and that. And yeah, so I just had some guy come in and be Vin Diesel. Like he just sounded like a regular dude. And I was like, oh, Vin Diesel, you sound a lot different.
Oh, you were
And
interviewing him as Vin Diesel.
yeah. And I was like, oh, you sound a lot. I was like, thanks for coming out of your way to, take time out of
I
your
am
busy schedule.
Groot.
Yeah, thanks for taking time out of your day, your busy schedule to come, to local college in England. Man, I really appreciate it. And the guy just started talking. He wasn't even doing a Vin Diesel impersonation. I was like, oh, you sound different in person. He goes, well, I'm an actor, you know. And yeah, man, I passed. They thought it was hilarious.
That's cool, man. I love doing shit in school now, and you get fucking passed for it and shown
Yeah,
to the year below as an example. I
yeah,
remember our media video did in school.
yeah. I'm gonna be saying this on Have You Had Yours? That was a good episode. And you took the bit that cracked me up the most. You talk about Rutter, like
Well, as
being,
an extra walking past the window, just in the
yeah,
background. He was
and
never used as a
and it got
actual.
cut. The fact that he was a deleted scene.
Oh yeah, we never actually used the fucking scene. Yeah, but mate, that was the only day he showed up to do that shoot, and we thought, fuck it, how do we incorporate him somehow? Because he was getting really butthurt about it. Because obviously, he was a media king. He was he did 10 years in media before he even reached puberty or whatever. I don't know. Mate, he thought he was the fucking dog's bollocks at editing and shit, didn't he? And
Yeah.
we thought, how the fuck do we incorporate him? Yeah, tell him we're gonna let him edit his bit, and never fucking incorporated it anyway. We just fucking deleted it and
Oh, bless
did
him.
something else, mate. But that was an actually very good fucking little
Yeah, I
short
remember
video,
watching
man.
it, mate. It was good.
Creepy as well, man. It
Kicked
went for
my
like a
ass.
little Halloween vibe.
Well, you know what? The reason why you beat me is because, like,
Beat
I
you.
Yeah, like in terms of like who had the better movie, because like you guys were what you guys created was better than mine. But the reason why is because Richard Morrison fucking got his head stomped on at the Quality Centre, so I lost him.
Why don't you just
Mark
record
Donahue.
that and use it as your video?
Oh man, I could have done, yeah. Like, Fight Club 2. Brad Pitt is back.
First rule of Fight Club: only one person gets their ass kicked by 10 men.
First rule of comedy, like youth centre.
The Carnegie Centre, man. What
Yeah.
a rock
First
title.
rule of comedy centre is cans of Coke are only 20p.
I used to get so fucking butthurt when I wasn't allowed to go.
Oh,
God
yeah.
damn, I just want to walk around and like stare at chicks all fucking
Remember
evening
that?
and
Do
not
you remember
actually
that
talk to
time?
them because I'm a fucking weirdo.
Remember that time I was walking with that girl, like that brunette girl in our year, and like we kind of had a thing for each other. And I walked her outside because she was leaving, and I walked her out, and you followed me for some reason, and then you turn a corner and I'm just making out with her. And you're like, oh shit, and then you walked away.
Yeah, sometimes I know when not to step on people's toes, you know.
But it was just funny. It was like, oh okay.
All right, see you later, Danny. Nice.
And we didn't
Touch your
smoke.
butt
We didn't
cheeks.
smoke back then. We weren't going for a fag break, mate. We didn't smoke back then.
I remember I used to smoke back then, yeah, and it used to make me choke like fuck. I was like, I'll never smoke. Look at me now. Stage 4 cancer.
I didn't start smoking until I was 20. I was 20, mate.
20. I
Mm.
was 17, I think.
Yeah.
16. Nah, I mean, I ended school, so I was smoking in school at the end. By the end, 16.
Yeah.
Disgusting habit.
Yeah, it's filthy.
I'm very glad the government's doing what they're doing with the prices and the age limit. No, I'm joking. Fuck them. Fucking assholes. Let people make up
Fuck the
their own
government,
minds.
mate. Hey,
Assholes.
libertarian revolution, mate, is coming.
Pieces of shit. Savouring podcast. Say it's signing off. Arrivederci.